Hello and welcome to another How to Make. I bought a wonderful little gadget called an Adafruit Monster M4sk, which is basically self-contained animated eyes, and I thought I can make a book out of this. This will be good. So I went to a second-hand store, bought a book. Here's the eyes just laid out on the page here so I can mark out the area I need to cut out of the pages. This gets rid of a lot of weight, and it also, obviously, you need the space to put the eyes in. So cutting these pages out, ages. This just took forever, so I'm cutting down a few pages at a time, over and over and over, and then when I got a decent amount of pages I pegged back the ones so I could keep on cutting without them getting in the way. I'll tidy this up a little bit afterwards, and you'll notice I also folded back the back cover. There it is, put back in place, so I didn't want to cut into this. Next I'm going to cut out some foam board I had, just measure it up to get it level with the pages. You can use cardboard if you want, but I'm just making a frame. So with some PVA glue I can paint all the pages, paint the frame, stick it in. This is going to hold all the pages together so they can't flop open. Next I'm going to mark where the eyes need to go, and I'll start just by making one hole, putting a screw through it so I can line it up, hold it in place while I mark all the others. These little guide things here, these came with the mask, so they're actually to hold the lenses in place, and I use them just using some screws to hold it in place, just to mark out where I needed to cut. Cutting through, and then a little bit of sandpaper because the book I bought was glossy, so I just wanted to key it up. And now I'm going to put the bolts through that I need. You can see them here. Before we start doing things like putting a spine on the book, just with a glue gun here, you can just make some raised patterns just to make it look like the stitching on an old style book. Next I thought I'd put a little nose and mouth on, totally freehand with a glue gun. Let all that dry out, and the next thing we're going to take some PVA glue and we're just going to give it a base coat just to key it up. And then we're going to start putting on tissue paper. So this is black tissue paper to start with, and you just go over and over and over with various layers. You can mix the glue up with a little bit of water as well to make sure it soaks in. Here's the back of the book afterwards, which I let the front dry first, and then we're going to cut off the excess, fold it in, and again just glue it down. So there's the book ready for painting. Next I'm going to use a little bit of burnt umber acrylic paint and just give it a coating. My little tray here's got water in as well, so we can thin it out and just get the colour we really want. And I'm going to use a little bit of tissue as well to sort of swab out little bits of the material just to give it a more mottled effect. I'm going to paint the pages as well, and then I'm going to paint the spine, and I'm going to paint in between the raised parts of the spine. Just gives it a little bit of sort of shadow and depth. Again, we'll just blotch off the bits we don't want. And once more I'm going to use my burnt umber paint, and I'm just going to go over the front, but I'm going to make it slightly sort of a face type thing in the middle. When this dries out, this will just give it a little bit more emphasis. Next I wanted some text, so I got some text and I photocopied it so I could cut it out to get the letters and just place them how I wanted before I had to use the self-adhesive letters. Book of the Dad, like the Book of the Dead but with worse jokes, even more evil. Okay, a little V on the side, and just going to go over the top of it with another coat of PVA to make sure the letters stay on and give it a little bit of a sheen as well. I bought an old belt from a charity shop, decided I'd make a binding for the book, so I'm going to line it up on the back of the book and just use a little guide of a piece of foam board so I can put my hot glue along here, glue down the belt, flip it over. I've cut it down, I've punched out the holes. This is going to keep the book shut. It's allow me to also change the battery if I need to, recharge battery. So the lens is there we were just putting in, and now I'm going to put in the actual Adafruit Monster M4sk. As it says, important, the connector that's shown in this picture, I bought it off eBay, it was wired incorrectly. Plus is at the bottom, minus is at the top. Okay, so we're also going to use some little rubber grommets there, and some just to make sure the mask doesn't get too tight, and I've done an extra little section here to hold the battery and also to put anything else I want in the book. Well, there's the finished article. I hope you enjoyed this making of. It's been fun. It's a great little prop for Halloween, but also you can take it to Comic-Con and scare the out of small children.